Hey, welcome to the Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast. We are your hosts, Eric Sturgeon.
And I'm Russell Sari.
This podcast is about all things Wisconsin, history, music, culture, and beer. Although we don't often use strong language, the content is not intended for young audiences, so listener discretion is advised.
If you love the bluegrass music you hear in this intro, please check out Dang It's from Madison, Wisconsin by visiting their website, dang-its.com. Now on to the show.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Wisconsin Drunken History, your weekly dose of the Dairy State. Today we are talking about the kindergarten and more specifically how it got its origins here in the United States, which, hey, spoiler alert, it happened in Wisconsin.
Woo.
So we also have great Wisconsin music from Ellie Jackson. We have another beer review. We have another edition of How Many Locos with a brand new intro. So I guess keep your ears peeled for that. I mean, really great thanks to Sons
awesome jingle.
Yeah, Sons of Leroy really stepped up on that one.
Yeah,
it's huge. And
super good.
We'll be featuring Sons of Leroy on a future episode as well. So, and honestly, while we're kind of talking about it, please remember to like, subscribe, rate, review, and share, all those things. It really helps us out. We are also featuring a great interview with Adventure Club Brewing.
Yeah, awesome. Way up in Bayfield, way up north there.
Exactly. You're basically up near the southern, point of Canada there.
Yeah,
So, really great episode set up for you today, and some really, really exciting things. Like we mentioned before, like, rate, subscribe, give us a review, send us an email. We've had a bunch of people reach out to us personally, and I'll tell you what, some of these things that you have featured or that we've featured are because of you. So we honestly can't thank you enough, and we love hearing from you, even if it's just to say, hey, that's totally fine. If you've got a suggestion of a future episode or something, that's cool too. 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
That'd be huge, honestly, to get some more exposure on there.
We would give you a high five and maybe a can koozie.
Yeah, we might send you a brewski.
We might. Yeah. We don't know. If we ever see you at a bar, we'll slide one down for you. So we also ask that if you like the show, please share it with a friend, because word of mouth is also a huge way of marketing these days still. So that's always huge as well. So what we're going to do now is jump right into the story of Margarethe Meyer Schurz and the origins of the kindergarten.
So Margarethe Meyer Schurz was born on August 27th of 1833 in Hamburg, Germany. And in the United States, her nickname was Molly, and she kind of went by Molly more. I'm probably going to stick to the name just because it's kind of more formal. She was the youngest daughter of Heinrich Christian Meyer and immigrated to the United States at only 19 years old. She and her husband first settled in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia freedom.
Hey,
Elton John,
city of brotherly love.
Right on. Before moving to her forever home in the great state of Wisconsin, specifically Watertown, Wisconsin, in 1855.
Great little city. If you haven't been there, it's
just
cool.
Right outside Madison there.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Trek station there currently. One of their operations, I believe,
are
outside of Watertown there.
Yeah.
So the idea of kindergarten had existed in Germany before arriving in America, thanks to Margarethe. We owe the idea to the German educator named Frederick Froebel, who started this idea in 1837. Kinder in Germany means child or children.
Yep.
Thus, my son's favorite snack, Kinder eggs. He loves those freaking things, children's eggs.
Never seen them.
You haven't. They have a toy and they have like a snack in the other half.
Is that safe? You put a toy inside of the thing that they're going to eat?
I don't think they're necessarily safe, but he loves the freaking chocolate.
Sometimes you find a little toy in your poop later if you forget to take it out.
He likes specifically now they have like a Marvel one where you get a little Marvel character. He's like super amped up. He just
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, baby, you ain't fooling nobody. And then the other half of the phrase kindergarten, the garden part meaning garden, and together meaning a garden where children can grow, basically.
Wow, that's actually really interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And we're pretty big German population here in America.
I mean, we have a city called Germantown.
Right, Wisconsin has a very dense German population.
Yeah.
So Johannes Runge opened an English kindergarten in Tavistock, England, where Margarethe taught before moving to the United States. The school was called the England Infant Garden Center. Made it more like English.
Sure.
They changed it a little bit, but she and her husband first settled in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, stated before, and then they moved to the great state of Wisconsin, specifically Watertown, in 1855. As we all know, as most of our listeners have gone to some sort of preschool or kindergarten, that we learn social skills, sharing, colors, numbers, you get naps, sing songs, play games, and all the things you need to know before starting school. Mainly
Honestly,
just a social aspect.
Yeah, it's really just the essentials that you need just to kind of live and be, a normal human being,
Exactly. And so the original first kindergarten Margarethe had, the class was only 5 students, and they all spoke German. And it was the Little White Schoolhouse, which is located in Watertown, Wisconsin, is actually a historical marker you can go and visit.
It's on the same property as the Octagon House.
Yep.
It's literally kitty corner.
The original school lasted all the way up until World War I due to the anti-German sentiment at the time due to the Axis uprising in Germany.
Yeah.
Germans who were the most dominant of the Europeans in Wisconsin at the time, and some even moved back to support Germany during this time period. So the school was closed for good at that point, and basically had to shut the doors because we didn't want to teach German anymore. It's kind of like what happened in World War II, the anti-Japanese sentiment that we had. It just happens every time, we talk about it before, the scapegoat. You need to have a scapegoat all the time. So Margarethe would fall on some hard times in 1856 when her home was foreclosed and she was living in Milwaukee. After the downfall, including the death of her daughter in 1867, Margarethe decided to move back to Hamburg, Germany, but not without leaving a long legacy of education in the United States. In 1859, Margarethe met Elizabeth Peabody, who is very well known for the education system.
Peabody.
Who was a well-known writer and teacher in Salem, Massachusetts. And thanks to the idea of kindergarten presented to her, Elizabeth helped spread the kindergartens all the way across the United States. And thanks to Peabody, we all know the kindergarten and the preschools across the United States completely. I mean, she was the one who basically pushed this idea and basically spread it all across the country.
Yeah.
On May 2nd of 1929, Margarethe Meyer Schurz passed away at the age of 43 on March 15th, 1876, 3 days after the birth of her son Herbert. On May 2nd of 1929, a memorial tablet was dedicated to her, located in Watertown, Wisconsin, that reads, "In memory of Mrs. Carl Schurz." And we didn't talk about Carl Schurz because we want to feature him in a different episode.
Yeah.
He was actually a general for the Union Army here in Wisconsin. Very famous general.
Wow.
So we didn't feature him in this one, but yeah, it's Mrs. Carl Schurz, and the actual tablet reads, "In memory of Mrs. Carl Schurz, Margarethe Meyer Schurz, August 17th of 1833 to March 15th, 1876, who established on this site the first kindergarten in America in 1865."
Yeah.
And the original school building has been restored, where it originally stood at North 2nd and Jones Street in Watertown, but was later moved to the grounds of the Octagon House, like my co-host said, in December of 1956. It is now listed in the National Register of Historic Places and can be visited, and portrays the classroom of the past. And just another thank you to another high Wisconsin personnel who created something great in our state. And I remember kindergarten in Elkhorn. I went to Westside. I knew you went to Tibbetts. Right?
Yeah.
And my teacher was Miss Radke, but I remember I learned to tie my shoes. I learned how to color, make macaroni noodle sculptures.
Ooh, I have a story for you.
Yeah, let's hear this.
So as you mentioned, I did go to Tibbetts Elementary School in Elkhorn for my first, amazing years in school. One of those being kindergarten. The story that I have is that you just mentioned that you learned to tie your shoes. I did not. In fact, I didn't learn to tie my own shoes until probably 4th grade. I remember
it's not that bad.
And it's funny that you mentioned it because just the other day I happened to think about this one memory that I have that continuously cycles through my head of a time in like 2nd or 3rd grade where my shoe was untied and I'm walking through the halls of Tibbetts and this one kid saw my shoe was untied and he was like, "Hey dude, your shoe's untied." And I was like, "I don't know how to tie my shoes." And I asked him if he would tie my shoes for me. Dude said no.
He said, "Oh, he turned you down."
Straight up turned me down.
Oh my god.
So I just had I had untied shoes for the rest of that day.
I'm not tying your shoes.
And
Sorry.
then eventually I ended up, I guess getting the courage to ask somebody how to tie shoes and whatever. And still to this day, I use the 2 bunny ear method. I don't use whatever this loop, swoop, pull or whatever. Can't do it. I don't even know how to do it.
I do that method. I never learned the bunny method.
It's the easiest, but I think it's a low integrity knot is what I heard. So it unties very quickly.
Actually the my 2 stepkids, that's how they tie their shoes, a 2 bunny ear.
Yeah.
I've never learned that method, so I was kind of intrigued to watch somebody else do it because I'm always used to loop, swoop, pull.
I'm telling you, man, the 2 bunny ear is about the easiest you could possibly learn.
All right.
So that'll take care of our main story today about the very first kindergarten in the United States of America happening right here in the great state of Wisconsin. All of you should go and visit it. Watertown itself is a great little town anyway. Lots to see and do, and then just historical markers is definitely something you should cross off your list. And the Octagon House is really cool to see as well. So now on to our music segment. As we sort of mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we are featuring Ellie Jackson, phenomenal indie rock music out of Milwaukee area.
Yeah, it's giving me kind of a little bit of a metric feel, like the high fuzz bass, kind of like the faint, like that high fuzz guitar, like the faint kind of.
I love it.
A lot of different like influences I'm getting out of it. I love it a lot. I mean, it's really cool. It's from Milwaukee.
Yeah,
really good song.
And the thing about the music itself is I never really learned how to use effects like that well. When we recorded with Drop Dead Dream in Madison, I used the processor, the Boss processor, whatever, but I just never really learned how to really use them that well. And this is like a expert example of using, like, it seems like there's maybe a chorus pedal with an extreme fuzz that just work super well together, and it just takes off. And the like you mentioned, that guitar, when it's doing kind of that little solo-y piece with that super fuzz, is like,
it's super cool.
It's so good.
It's funny because, like, even with me playing guitar, I think the max I've done is maybe the Boss, just generic distortion, some reverb, just like super simple stuff. I've just never been a master of it. You know, it's
and
like,
it honestly takes somebody really, really good with a really good ear in order to mix those sounds of those different pedals together, chain them the right way, and like we said, Ellie Jackson is the prime example of how to do really great sounding pedals and guitar effects and stuff. So without any further ado, this is Ellie Jackson, Underneath Us. Whoa.
Awesome.
That was sick, dude.
It was super good.
Yeah. So I had reached out to the Ellie Jackson Instagram page and just said, hey, this music that you're producing is super, super cool. I really enjoy it, and I would love if, we could just kind of put it out there for our listeners if they hadn't heard it or anything at that point. But, I know that we're not going to get a whole lot of exposure for these people because they already have a pretty substantial, base, and we have a pretty good listenership, and we get, a really decent amount of views or listens per episode and stuff. So really anything we can do to help, especially when we're super fans of this stuff and we really enjoy it. So that was Ellie Jackson, and the song again was Underneath Us. Definitely go online, check out the Facebook page, and they're on Bandcamp and all of the other things, and definitely on iTunes as well. So go out there and purchase the stuff too if you like it. So now we are on to another brew review, and this one is kind of neat.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's Some Nerve Brewing Company, and they are in Manitowish Waters, Wisconsin. Russ, take us down this road here.
Yeah, so Manitowish, if you don't know where it's at, it's north on 51 there, outside of Minocqua, and it's actually where the famous John Dillinger shootout happened. At Little Bohemia there is nice. Also in Manitowish. But this one is the Cherry Kramer Cherry Milkshake Sour. And Cherry Kramer coming from the legendary Packer, Jerry Kramer. And this one has 4.5% ABV sour. It's really good. It's like a golden brown color. Really good, just clear, crisp. And I'm taking the first sip now.
Yeah. I actually had a chance to do a little bit of a taste test on this one when we went there. My wife and I went there and actually spoke with the owners there, and had a chance to pick up a couple crowlers. So we are going to feature another beer of theirs on another episode. But this Cherry Kramer one, the milkshake sour, was stupid good.
It's really good. So you're getting the tartness probably from the cherry, like right up front. You're getting a tart. It's really sour, and then you're getting a back finish of a wood or a smoky oak.
Yeah.
Is that where you're getting like an oak flavor kind of in the back?
Yep.
So I'm kind of wondering a little bit more about this, if it was barrel aged or if they kind of just used barrel chips in the batch. But either way, it's a great beer. It's super well crafted. I don't know if you guys really enjoy sours. I know sometimes I'm a hit or miss on these. This one is really good.
Yeah.
It's getting that cherry flavor, but you're also getting a smokiness. It's literally the flavors of the Northwoods to me.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. It's the Northwoods flavor.
It feels like I'm walking through, the woods by the lake, which ironically is where this place is. So as Russ kind of mentioned, you're going up 51 outside of Minocqua. So you drive probably about 20, 25 minutes outside of Minocqua on 51. This place just appears on your right. And it's sort of, I guess you could kind of consider it off the beaten path, but we also had talked to the owners, and randomly, they I believe are actually from the New Glarus area.
Oh wow!
And then they moved to Manitowish Waters.
That's a heck of a move.
But they are also on a mission to visit every single brewery in the state of Wisconsin, of which they've I think they only have a handful left. And you can visit their website to see their journey. They've actually created a map, a Google map that you can see all the things that they've visited. When we stopped in and we talked to them, they had done their whole Milwaukee visit, like in like a 3-day visit.
Man, that was raw. That's a lot of breweries.
That's exactly what we said. We were like, cow. That is rugged. I mean, that's a lot of tasting, and that's 3 days. Where you're just sucking, brewskis.
I'm really intrigued to go and check this out, especially to find out if they're like journaling these, because I want to see what their take on, some of these beers that we've had.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how many Wisconsin beers have we had? Honestly, like thousands. Yeah. I mean, like just at unbelievable amounts. Sure. Variety is probably 1,000 different beers throughout breweries throughout the state. But this one, definitely go and check them out. They're Some Nerve Brewing Company. And this one, again, is the Cherry Kramer Cherry Milkshake Sour. And if you can find their blog, actually, you can probably go over to their website, which is somenervebrewing.com, and find a link to it. So definitely go and check that out. And definitely go and check their brewery up if you're in the Northwoods. 15 minutes north of Manitowish, you're in Hurley. So if you want to see some boobies and beer, you can stop here, Some Nerve.
Get some beer, and then go up there and get some grease.
Yeah, get greasy.
Get greasy.
You got Some Nerve going up there already.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Get some boobs in your face and enjoy the Northwoods.
Grab a seat, gather round, join us for a chat. How many locos you at?
And you know what that means, folks. It's another edition of
How Many Locos
You At, baby?
Yeah.
We got a good one for you today. It's super hilarious.
So this one is from the Wausau, Wisconsin area. An unusual situation involving 2 OWI arrests happened this weekend in Wausau. On Saturday night, the Wausau Police Department Twitter account did what they call a tweet-along of an officer's night shift patrolling the street. During that Twitter event, the police department shared that they had a very strange case around 8 o'clock involving 2 different arrests for one car.
Oh, man.
The tweet said the officer responded to a car stuck in a snowbank on the 500 block of Park Boulevard. The twist was that the owner of the car had already been arrested earlier that evening for an OWI. The owner was found inside the car, but a different man this time was driving, who also was intoxicated. So he hangs out with other drunks as well. So the second man was also then arrested for OWI in that same night for that same vehicle. Woo.
Who put a liquor curse on this bad boy? I mean, this is nuts. This one car.
So
his buddy's like, oh, hey, will you drive me to the bar and then drive me home? Sure thing. Then he had a couple 2-3 and he's like, oh, hey, probably shouldn't be driving either. Now we got 2. Same night.
Pick me up from jail and then let's go to the bar.
The tweet along turned into a horror show like real fast. So.
Yeah, I mean, so what we have here is somebody driving this car got an OWI, and then later that night after he was released from jail and released on probably signature bond, he let his buddy drive him around, and his buddy happened to be sauced as well, so then he got an OWI. Same car, same night,
and
2 different people.
We're kind of going blind, too, because we don't have a lot of information like age or anything. This is kind of just one of the articles we saw. And
we don't have a lot of particular details. So
this is a blind loco we're going into here.
No breath test, no real response from the drivers either, as far as, hearing them say like, oh yeah, I only had a couple, or no, I had a lot. We don't have any of that stuff. So,
and we got 2 guys that are probably on the same loco level, so we can just assume they're on the same loco. So we'll figure out the loco for the 2 guys because they both got an OWI.
Yeah.
So one hit a snowbank.
Yeah.
So
oh, those pesky snowbanks.
Oh.
I think the thing that we have to focus probably primarily on in order to make this thing happen is probably looking at the decision-making process here.
Yeah, because, I mean, he was at the bar.
Stupid enough.
Got a DUI.
Yeah.
Had his buddy driving back to the bar.
Yeah.
And then his buddy got one. So
the thought process there is criminal in nature. They're idiots is the best way to kind of describe. So, I mean, without knowing exactly how many, beers or whatever, and the actual blood alcohol concentration, I'm
pretty confident with what I have.
Yeah.
Here. I mean, we've talked about how the levels affect you. So, did you want to go on 3 then?
Yeah, I think going on 3 is good.
Sure.
So, I just want to make sure in my head that I finalize this.
Because we know, like, after a 12, you're pretty so you blackout. Like, these guys probably aren't blackout, some kind of, so if you want to do it, we'll go from there.
Yeah,
so.
let's, on 3.
Sure.
1, 2, 3,
10.
8. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking a 10 loco. They're not quite the blackout, but they're stupid as shit.
Yeah. one more sip each.
Do you think
done.
we're going 9 loco?
Yeah, I feel comfortable with 9. Yeah.
Let's do it, dude. 9 loco.
Absolutely. So, 9, and these guys are toasted.
Sound that gavel. All right, today we're here with Matthew from Adventure Club Brewing. Matthew, how you doing?
Oh, I'm real good. Sunday morning. I got a Bloody Mary in my hand.
Right on. Yeah, we got a couple of Busch lattes.
Oh, yeah.
Sipping on right now. Actually, some cheap
there you
beer.
go.
Some cheap beer. But so can you give us a little history about Adventure Club Brewing? I know it's one of my stops when I'm in the Bayfield area, or even going up to the Apostle Islands. Just anything you can give us. How you guys got started?
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, let's see. Coming up, Memorial Day weekend this year will be 2 years of being open. So
Awesome.
Still pretty new. Yeah, I came up. I used to brew for One Barrel Brewing Company in Madison.
Love it.
That's where I kind of got into home brewing. Typical story. I think most brewers will tell you. Started out in the garage, but
Yeah.
yeah, came up here. My aunt and uncle own the building that I'm renting the spot in, so they invited me to come up, and it seemed like a pretty rad opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can't miss the building when you're going up there. I mean, it's so cool. It's like just that steel siding. It has like a really like like a pole building, but like it's like a modern pole building. It's just you can't miss it. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. It was I tell you what, I didn't want to leave Madison, but then they showed me the property they were going to build on. It's like, oh, geez. Yeah.
Yeah. And One Barrel is one of it's one of my favorites in the state of Wisconsin, and it just is a really nice. I mean, they make a great ton of beers, so I'm sure you're taking that same mentality, and you already have the beer process in your brain of how to create something that's delicious and impactful. So, I mean, is there a beer that you are really happy with, or a recipe that you've sort of concocted and that you're really, really excited about?
Oh, geez. There are a couple, I would say. Murky Tributary is a hazy IPA we do that I made sure was on tap for my birthday here back in December, but otherwise Brown Fedora is just a pretty basic coffee brown ale. But
you want to know what? We're a huge Indiana Jones fans, and we short round fans as well, so we love the beer.
Yeah.
So
Dr. Jones. Yeah, I absolutely love. I mean, and the other thing is, it's not only just about the recipe and the brew, it's about coming up with a decent name for something too, because you're kind of putting a name to the project, and it sounds like you guys have an incredible ability to do that. I love that.
Yeah, coming up here, I always said that was the hardest part, is coming up with a name that's original and not taken. I did actually just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, get it was a friendly cease and desist for we had our North Coast Cream Ale, so it's no longer North Coast Cream Ale.
Really? Was it what brewery gave you the cease and desist here?
Well, North Coast Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've
Sure.
sipped a couple of their beers. It's crazy. They seem like a pretty liberal company that wouldn't really say anything. But
I mean, you're using their name right in there. But what did you change it to?
Oh, it's not officially anything else yet.
Okay,
On the
gotcha.
chalkboard, it just says Norte Coast.
there you go.
But
Well,
I think
that's
we can do a little. It doesn't have the same ring, you know.
it doesn't, but I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
So you could go.
well-
I mean, up in that area, you could go like Myers Beach Coast, or hey, you got a lot of options at least.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah. One potential option is just Nice Choice Cream Ale.
Oh,
I like it.
choice. Love it.
it's great.
Same
Simple.
initials.
There you go.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so we were gonna ask too. I know like things are kind of weird right now with COVID and things going back to normal. But do you guys have any events coming up?
Yeah, we're gonna try to jump into the music scene a little bit up here this
Nice.
summer. Thursday, Earth Day, we had one of the bike techs was just kind of spinning some reggae vinyl and turned into a huge event. I think it was the most people we've ever had on scene ever before. So
That's awesome.
yeah, to set something like that in April, traditionally the slowest month of the year up here. I think there needs to be a lot more music.
Yeah,
Yeah, and especially some Bob Marley and the Wailers, or maybe even some like Grateful Dead or something would be cool.
Even I know Madison is a great reggae scene, actually.
Yeah,
and we were lucky to play with a few of those bands, and yeah, I mean that'd be such a great thing to have up there, especially. You know what? I come up in the wintertime, but I'm like a pretty diehard Wisconsinite. Like, I love going out. The ice caves weren't open this year, but I also got to go to Myers Beach and see a lot of the ice from the top, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always a stop to go to Adventure Brewing, and I recommend to anyone to check it out. Adventure Club is awesome. So,
oh, thanks.
And I love what you guys are doing. I love the place. I love the building. I just love the all around feel. Like it's just in such a cool location too. Like you're right on the main drag when you're coming up to Bayfield. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. It's awesome.
I won't miss it.
Oh,
I'm gonna go up there.
When it comes to brewskis, you got us on board. So before we let you go today, we're going to ask you a few questions to find out how Wisconsin are you. Are you ready for these bad boys?
Oh, I think so.
All right, let's let her rip.
Nobody's ever ready. Just kidding. It's the easiest questionnaire you'll ever be asked.
This may be tough for you because you are up north there, guy.
Yeah.
Where do you consider to be up north Wisconsin?
Canada.
Hater. Yeah. I mean,
where?
Yeah,
Where
now
do
it's
I
tough.
consider?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. I like to say the cutoff because, driving up from Madison a bunch of times, once you get past Wausau and 51 just turns into the little 2-lane highway.
That's exactly a little north Highway 8 there. So
Yep.
yeah, that's north.
where I consider it. Once the big road ends, you're up north.
Exactly. And so the next question we got for you, have you ever tailgated a Brewers, Packers, or a Badgers game? Or all three?
Well, yeah.
Have you hit all three?
I've been to Lambeau a couple times, but we didn't really tailgate.
Okay.
Just went right in and
Just
got
parked
into
in
it.
someone's front yard and left.
Yep.
You've been to the
pretty much.
You've been to the fatherland at least, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good. So.
Love it.
For sure. I'm a 2013 UW alumni, so I've been to my share of Badgers games, been to a couple Miller Park.
Awesome. So
Awesome.
you've hit all three, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, whether you tailgated or not, I mean, you've been there.
You've had a beer
Yeah,
there. That's all that
experience,
matters.
Sure. Yep.
All right. So have you ever been to Summerfest, and do you have a memorable band that you saw there?
Oh, you know what? I got to see the band live there.
No way.
Wow.
Like,
Really?
Yeah, that took me back to
What was that
my
one?
younger days.
Like
The Lightning, right?
Lightning
Thunder.
Crasher.
Lightning
they've
Crasher,
got-
yeah.
Heck yeah.
He's got a bunch.
Damn,
Like,
dude.
So good.
That
I
really
love
takes
I
me
saw
back.
Santana there.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Probably Santana before the Rob Thomas thing. It might have been after.
Might have same era, I think. I don't remember
Yeah.
when that was.
So smooth.
Yeah, absolutely. Santana's cool. The kind of like the original Paul Reed Smith guitar player,
Uh-huh. Yep.
It's still good stuff. I mean, like, yeah, maybe
100%.
maybe Throb Thomas might have done a few things, but hey, we don't judge him. So I was going to ask you too, up in that area, is there a supper club? It doesn't have to be up there either, but is there a supper club you recommend to the listeners?
Oh gosh, a supper club. There's one I haven't been to. I can't even think of the name of it off the top of my head right now, but I've heard really good things. Well, it's not a supper club, but there's a diner.
Okay.
What the hell is it called? It's just south of here a little bit. Oh dang, it's been on Dives, Diners.
Oh yeah, the diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah.
That's a great show, man. That guy has some sweet hair, dude. I'm so jealous of that white dew. I mean, that thing's like a flaming hot rod of hair.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Oh man, it's bugging me. The name is totally escaping me right now.
And-
Last summer though, they added a little jerk chicken shack to the operation.
Awesome. And that's up by the Bayfield area. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think what it is because I know what you're talking about. Is that it wouldn't be in Superior, would it?
No, it's south.
South of there. Okay. Well, our listeners, look up south of Bayfield area diners.
Just eat at every diner.
Yeah, they're
Delta Diner.
Delta Diner. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's a great place. And I've never been there, but we've driven past there multiple times. And it's definitely on my list because as a Wisconsin Supper Clubite, I've been to quite a few. So
yeah, absolutely. And it's I've actually been to a handful of the diners, drive-ins. The Triple D is what we call that show.
Yeah.
And this one is cool because it's that really old looking diner feel. So
yeah, it's you got to go to Flavortown once in a while. So
absolutely.
So
yeah.
So the next
that's
one,
the spot up here. That's
yep. Awesome.
Okay,
I'm going there.
So a bit of a Northwoods question for you. Have you ever seen a black bear up there?
Oh, geez. Back in 1999, I was riding with my uncle to work out on a little country road, and the belt broke on the truck. So we're sitting there, and these two little cubs wandered in the woods right by. That was until last summer, the last time I was driving back from Superior, and I saw a big old bear just poking his head out of the woods. But
damn,
just hanging out.
Yeah.
That's been it. Yep, just watching cars drive by. I turned around and tried to take a picture, and as soon as it saw me coming back around, it jumped back into the woods.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then we were going to ask you too, with Adventure Club, do you guys have a beer that you recommend for beer brats?
As far as cooking the brats or drinking with the brats?
You know, both. You
Both.
cook with the brats and drink it while you're cooking those brats.
One for brat,
geez.
one for me. One
yeah,
for
that's
the
exactly it.
Well, the previously named and cannot be mentioned North Coast Cream Ale
Yeah.
is just, it's good for everything.
No co.
Superior IA, baby. That is the true North Coast.
Ooh.
So, but
I'm interested. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a scientist for a second.
Perfect.
and then one last question. Besides Adventure Club Brewing, is there a brewery you recommend? And it doesn't have to be in Wisconsin either. Like maybe one you've been to outside of state or in state. Either one.
Sure. Since moving up here, I'm a big fan of the Earth Rider crew. They're over in Superior.
Great people.
Absolutely.
We had them on the show. Awesome people, actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're actually planning a little collaboration for Apple Fest this fall. So hopefully that works out.
It's so cool because like my last name, for example, it's a Finnish last name, and you don't see Sari often, but there's actually a few Saris that work at Earth Rider, which is pretty cool.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, you don't get to see that name very rarely, and people are like, "Oh, is that an Indian last name?" No, it's actually not. It's Finnish.
Yeah.
It means Islanders.
Yeah.
Which is where like the whole family comes from, which is really cool about Earth Rider, and I love that brewery. I've been there multiple times, honestly. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome.
so cool. And thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And we can't wait to get up there. If you'd be willing, one of these days, if we could do like a little personalized tour, me and Eric would love to come and visit, and we can talk beer and talk some adventuring itself. So
Absolutely.
awesome,
we will
Matthew.
definitely hook up, and we will see you in the future for sure.
And I'm going to rewatch
Okay.
those Indiana Jones movies while drinking some of your beers. So
Yeah.
you influenced me. So we're going to skip the Crystal Skull, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
All
right.
Shia LaBeouf isn't
Well,
real.
they're coming out with a fifth one. It was supposed to come out this summer, but now it's been postponed to 2022. But yeah, fifth one in the works.
I hope it's better than Crystal Skull.
You heard it here first.
You heard it
Maybe.
here. You heard it here first. Awesome.
It's definitely not going to have Shia LaBeouf.
I hope not. But Matthew, thank you so much for your time on this Sunday. We really appreciate it. We love your beer. We love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and have a great day.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Oh yeah. Thank you guys. Cheers.
All
Cheers.
right, cheers.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that concludes this episode of Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast.
If you enjoyed this vulgar display of Wisconsin, please like and subscribe on whatever streaming platform you prefer. And remember to hit the bell on YouTube to be notified when we release new content.
Also, if you have any suggestions or ideas for future episodes, please send us an email at widrunkenhistory@gmail.com or head over to our Facebook and Instagram pages.
Thanks again for listening, and remember, as always,
Watch out for deer on your way home.